And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for the show that is more fun than a barrel of monkeys. I don't think that's how that goes. But it's the Greg Cherry Show, and you're muted. Or am I muted? I can't hear you. All right. Just working on his audio issues. But yeah, it is the pre-joke edition of the Greg Cherry Show. Reading lips is fun though. Hey, we're past the 5-minute mark. It's fine, even if you weren't muted.
In that case, fucking hell.
There you go.
Okay. Show before the show, and I can't get my audio straight. That can't be good for tomorrow, right? Yesterday when I was using this mic, it sounded like I was in a wind tunnel, so I was going to make sure I was coming in okay today.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, very good. Yeah, we got finally got a decent camera to actually have my studio behind me as opposed to this wonderful green screen I've had here for a year. So, yeah, well, tomorrow is the day where I'm going to be down in Hollywood as it is with people, so it's going to be a long day, to say the very least. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the growth of the brand and the ties that Maven brings onto the Greg Cherry brand and the multiverse of media. It's cool, man. I'm here for it.
Absolutely. You know, it's such a crazy thing that, like, we were able to get him in the first place.
Right? Mm-hmm.
I just realized, hey, it might sit right here.
This is why we're practicing, ladies and gentlemen.
We're getting this shit now, so we don't have to run it. Of course, I'm not going to be here at all. I'm going to be in a completely different location tomorrow, so God only knows what's going to happen then.
Yeah. But anyway, hi. We are going to be much more organized tomorrow. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm taking a train and buses ass early to get down there and set up so I don't have to shit come 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure everybody's audio is good before we go on the air, and
yeah, Judy's the one that told me that yesterday before we went on the air. So before I went on the air using. So I don't know, like, how do I sound to you?
I mean, it does kind of sound like you're in a tunnel, but
Okay, I'm not trying to figure out why, because when I went to default internal mic yesterday, it worked, and now it's not. So let's just go ahead and keep rambling. We'll figure this shit out, kids.
Okay. Well, I spent a good chunk of yesterday, as soon as I came home from poker, working on the brand new round that is coming tomorrow, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, it's going to be fun. This may be the least trivia heavy episode of Joe yet.
Well, that's not fair. That's the whole point.
Well, I mean, if it were straight up wrestling trivia, then I'd just bring back WTC.
I am the most prolific champion, not the longest reign. I'm the most prolific champion of that brand, so why not?
But yeah,
it's only Triple Crown champion in Greg Cherry brand right now. That's me.
It's true. You've won the championship on all 3 shows. Look at the draw, Jack of all trades, and Wrestling Trivia Challenge.
The only Mucker brother that's done that too, by God. So.
I mean, if you count the ones that predated the October version, well, no, I guess I can't. I've never played Jack of all trades, so I can't claim that.
You never played Jack of all trades, so yeah. By definition, you can't call yourself a Triple Crown champion yet.
One of these days, if Sat would have continued his reign, I might have had to given Maddie the reins or something to do it, but that may still come to fruition. I would like to jump into the Joe ring at some point, not right away.
No.
Because Cass just became champion last time.
Right.
So,
and he's going to lose tomorrow to me, so you might as well just keep keep it on there.
But it's going to be a good time. Actually,
like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to punking out a former WWE superstar, former WWE hardcore champion, this YouTube sensation. I'm looking forward to truly punking somebody out that is that level. Good stuff. Good times.
See, this is when you talk all this shit, and then like the first round goes incredibly poor for you.
That's generally how it works for me. We both know this, especially on Joe. Like I'll talk all this shit, and then either the first round or that freaking hand movement wrestling move thing just tanks my ass.
JJ's asking, is there a part of you that wishes you were playing against Maven instead of hosting? No. I'm listen, the fact that he's coming on the channel at all, I'm excited about.
He brought up a very interesting point to me yesterday, and I'm gonna put you on the spot here in front of everybody. What if he wins? Just he pulls off some miracle and beats Maddie and me and Chris, and he's got to continue on. He's got to be able to come on and continually, once a quarter, come on here and face the best of the best here.
Well, it could be very much because I know it happened for Quizzlemania, because I know Melina became Quizzlemania champion, and she came back. She came back and defended it. But it also could be a situation like the Good Brothers, who won the tag team championships and then were never on again. So if that were to happen, like if we couldn't secure Maven past tomorrow, if he were to win, then the championship would just have to be vacated. It's kind of like the Bret Hart U.S. title run of 2010. Like he won it, but he can't defend it. So
he should have, though. Damn it, he should have. Like that fan, it just there's been so many phantom reigns in wrestling. There's so much controversy. Who is really the longest reign in modern era? Is it Roman Reigns? Is it Greg Cherry? We'll never have the answer because Roman Reigns hasn't been called to come on this channel, first of all. So, he won't face this guy in tribute because, Roman's ready to get punked out by his own family, at least until Friday if he shows up.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, even with my truncated reign when I retired the title last year, I would still have a longer reign than Roman by over a year.
That's right. You passed Hogan, which was the next goal everybody was talking about that Roman was going to surpass. And it's like, dude,
listen, if we're still counting, I'm only a year and some change away from Bruno.
Okay. So there you go.
If we're still counting that.
Yeah, Bruno, by God, San Martino, and Greg Cherry's going, yeah, anyway. Once again, another Pennsylvanian topples another one. See how that works? See how that works, folks?
Well, I just want to solidify the top 2 positions for the city of Pittsburgh. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, well, Lord knows Shane Douglas will love you for it.
Because I'm pretty sure how long was Backlund's? 2,100?
Backlund's at 21 and change. Let me
okay,
check the stats. And Mikey's not here to do a good work for me. That's not what I said.
I'm interested. I feel like it's 2,100. It's like 2,156.
It's like 2,130 something. I used to have a number like in my head. I was counting, especially when Roman was still moving. Hey, we're getting some serious company.
Well, I was serious. If Roman retained at 40, I'd bring the title out of retirement and start defending it again.
So, not counting the shenanigans with the vacancies and holdups and whatnot, 2135.
2135. Okay, so I've already passed Backlund then.
Okay, yeah. Bruno's 2 reigns. The first one's 2803. The second one is 1236.
Yeah, the 2803 is the one I'm shooting for. Because I'm at 2,300 even today.
There you go. So for the Pittsburgh folks, he is now at the exact number that the former ECW Arena changed its name to. So he's got Philadelphia beat already as it is. And, screw Philly anyway for taking away my birthday celebration because they had their WrestleMania.
It happens.
It happens.
But yeah, a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about on this show. Forbidden Doors this coming weekend, and I don't know what it is. Like I'm getting, I know there's going to be great matches happening. Like I know that, but at the same time, it's not a completely story-driven show. And it kind of drives me nuts.
Yeah, that's AEW very rarely misses on pay-per-view. They've not had a full-on miss yet, right? But it's always been about the quality of the matches, not the content of the story. And that's what a lot of people have a major bitch about.
Mm-hmm.
Is the lack of story behind the story. It's like, okay, so great, we've got Zack Sabre Jr. in the ring against Orange Cassidy. Why do we care?
Yeah.
Sabre Jr. just now put a video up, I think it was yesterday, maybe even this morning before Dynamite. Like, okay, we're 3 days out or 4 days out, we're just now getting anything from Sabre Jr. Like, that's kind of.
I mean, in defense of that, 2 of the builds to one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time had less than 2-week builds. Undertaker and Triple H started, I think, on not the SmackDown before, because that would have just been 2 days, but I think the prior SmackDown, that angle started with Triple H and The Undertaker. And then Angle and Benoit literally started on the Go Home Raw.
Was that the same WrestleMania you're talking about, 2001 for Undertaker Triple H?
Yeah, that was Mania 17.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it may have started before that, because I don't know when Triple H came out and cut that promo of I've beaten everybody. Undertaker went really down. It had a few weeks, because I remember Triple H attacking Undertaker backstage and like putting a chair over his foot, like sitting on it. I remember sending the like I'll say that was at least 2 SmackDowns. So
it could have been that SmackDown and then the Go Home SmackDown.
Yeah,
I'm basing this more off of Taker's interview with Chris Van Vliet than actual shows.
Which, for real, how about the exchange between those 2 guys? You had Chris on 6 Feet Under, and you had Undertaker on Chris's show.
Mm-hmm.
I love both of those. I was telling my dad the story Undertaker told about getting even with Percy for the cucumber break. Oh my God. And he finally told the story of why he hates cucumbers, which I thought was so cool. Because I was like, how do you get afraid of it? It's not that he's afraid, he just doesn't like them. He hates them. And you could get a very valid reason why. I'm not going to take away, Chris's views. Please go watch that. But yeah, the revenge that he lost on Percy was just next level. It's next level. Good stuff. And that's how they work with each other. But yeah, I applaud Chris. He's had a hell of a surge. Very much akin to Maven's. YouTube by the tip. Chris has been working his ass off for years and years. Him and Denise both to get where they are. So much applause to those two people. But yeah, the build for this Sunday has definitely been less than, which is why JJ and I decided to do this show on Friday, where we're going to book our own version of Forbidden. Mm-hmm. That's going to be at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on Friday, because it always feels like the match is almost always delivered, but it's like, why do I want to watch this? Where's the story behind it? And it's like, you know what? We needed a dad show anyway. We're always talking about fantasy booking and greatest this, whatever. There are so many talents out there, not just in AEW and in Japan, but across the wrestling world. It's like, you know what? This could be a hell of a show if they really wanted to roll that Forbidden Door opportunities.
And maybe the stories just aren't as good for Forbidden Door because it's so soon after Double or Nothing. And then you almost have to shoehorn some other company's talent onto your programming. And a lot of times, like, unless you're like really deep into the lore of professional wrestling and a whole bunch of this stuff, you won't know these talents from New Japan. You won't know these talents from CMLL or AAA or whatever the case may be. And it's very hard in 4 weeks' time to build that kind of a show. And when you have, don't get me wrong, I will never complain about seeing Mercedes Moné on my TV.
Yeah.
But when she has matches on Dynamite against these random CMLL talent who are very talented, I'm not taking away anything from their abilities, because that match on Dynamite was fantastic. But like we get no reason. It's just, it feels like a match to do a match, and then like Stephanie wasn't there after to like confront or like cut a promo or anything like that.
Yeah. The main event, which, the first Forbidden Door was AEW versus New Japan. This one is a AEW World Champion versus another champion in AEW. Okay. Why is it forbidden? Because Ospreay just happened to be in Japan the last however many years? Like, I completely agree with and back up the complaint. And it's not just us in the uneducated, IWC. Like, people that have been actively involved or, even in the past, booked professional wrestling have talked about this chronic issue with AEW. It's a match for the sake of a match. And as much as there is that audience, that niche for that, wrestling since I was born, 83 or so, has always had that sports entertainment element to it. We're not calling for him anymore because that's a dirty phrase now. But there has to be a little bit of story, a little bit of substance, a little bit of sizzle behind the steak. Otherwise, it just tastes like a bland thing you do some A1 on, kind of sort. And the matches are going to be kick-ass. There's no friggin' doubt in my mind about that. But the stakes are what they are. They're for championships or they're just matches.
Yeah. And I've said this before, and it was a controversial opinion. I'll say it again. Forbidden Door should not be an annual event.
No.
There will people who will yell at me for that. There are people who will get on my case for that, because it's like, oh my God, Forbidden Door has had some of the best matches in that company's history. Okay, fine. That's fine. Like, I know, like, Danielson had a great match. You had Ospreay Omega last year, but I just can't get past the fact that a lot of it, and it is a little more story driven this year than it has been in past years. I will give it that. There are more stories intertwined, especially with the women's matches. The women's matches,
Yes,
both
yes.
have good stories behind them. There is history there. So the women's side seems like it fits, honestly.
Yeah, it does.
But the men's side, it just feels like there's matches for the sake of matches.
Yeah. I don't disagree with
It feels
the
like a means
matches.
to an end.
Yeah, I don't think I disagree with the matches happening, but you're absolutely right. The title of Forbidden Door should not be a thing. You know, the need to do events once a month has apparently become a thing for AEW now. And that's, you know, that was almost a win not if situation. But here's the deal. This one over here is all of the shows we've got coming up between now and the end of the year on the watch along schedule. There is so much wrestling on pay-per-view, PLE, whatever you want to call it. It feels like they are just forcing these, you know, shows down our throat. Whereas, like JJ said, this NXT thing is just intriguing. I have people I know that didn't watch NXT, wasn't destination television before
Jordan Grace.
Yeah, well, I was going to say just, you know, before the Royal Rumble even, but yeah, recently. And now it's like I'm finding myself pissed off I can't get home by 8 o'clock because I want to see who's going to show up next, what's going to happen, you know, what's going to develop. There wasn't a single quote unquote surprise last night as far as new people, but the storylines were driven by the idea that anything is going to happen, much like it was when I was first a fan. Vince is, you know, afraid of anything that happens in the World Wrestling Federation. Like, I'm here for that. I want to see that. AEW, it's like, okay, they're going to add matches to the show because it's Dynamite or on Rampage or on Collision or whatever. They're going to add matches because they do. Tony has to have a 14-match card every week.
Can I just say, though, that the women's division in NXT is building so many future stars.
No, yes.
Like they are becoming almost oversaturated with how much talent they have.
No, we within the watch along team had decided a long time ago the knockouts have been the standard bearer, and they have been more so in the last couple of years than they already were. NXT's has completely hurdled over AEW's or the main WWE roster by a lot. There are some solid talents in the WWE roster for the women still, but NXT's is just, they could almost justify giving those ladies their own show. There's so many solid quality talents.
And you know, just looking at last night, I mean, Sol Ruka challenging Kalani Jordan for the North American Championship. You have Lola Vice challenging for the NXT Women's Championship, and Lola Vice is an absolute star. Like she just, like her like heel personality and just the confidence that she exudes, she is a star personified. You have Jada Parker, who's going to be challenging Mishin to a street fight next week. Jada Parker just has this presence that makes you want to pay attention and watch her kick so much ass. Jada Parker is another future star. I absolutely love everything she's doing.
Didn't have been the shit of Mia Yim, who I've long admired and wanted part of any company I was involved in. Man, that's a dangerous road to hoe, but I'm here for it. It's going to be awesome to see it go down.
Absolutely.
Really quickly before you move on to the next thing, on behalf of our buddy, with as many people as we'll have watching right now.
Nice.
We do have 69 people watching. Very much appreciated. We always love, even if it's a brief cameo from Kate, we always love
Yes.
Kate on the show.
My favorite phrasing of the word nice in the history of the language, and she just made it more so.
Absolutely. You know, there's been a lot of rumors recently, and it's very much splitting people on the internet of a certain best in the world going to AEW.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what a big smile on my face there would be to see Shane McMahon in AEW.
Oh, I know it would, brother.
And like I've said it, and people think I'm kidding when I say it, to put the title on him.
Well, I'm not going that far, but
I will go that far.
I know you will. I know you will.
I'm the same person. I'm the same person who said that Shane McMahon should have been the one to dethrone Kofi Kingston.
Yes, you were. I remember.
And people gave me so much hell for it. So if people give me hell for that now, it's like, okay, so you preferred the way Kofi lost the title?
I was there live. I didn't prefer it at all.
I was going to say, wouldn't you rather see Shane McMahon win the WWE Championship in a competitive like ladder match where Kofi kind of gets screwed out of the title and he can save face rather than seeing Brock Lesnar destroy him in 8 seconds and him look like a complete chump?
And he's never in the title picture again in the history of ever.
He had that match against Lashley, but the same thing happened to him there.
Yep.
Lashley absolutely destroyed him.
Yeah. On that SmackDown, I think was Shane and Kevin Owens go off where Shane left. So you had that story. Good story. You know, I may have gone a little long, but it was still a good story at the time. Yeah. So,
Dwayne, thank you for the super chat. Not sure who that went to. Because I wish they would be able to tell which channel that goes to when you stream on multiple.
It is what it is. It's very easy to discern, but anyway.
Yeah. He says, do I think it's true, or do we think it's true that Tony Khan only cares about making 5-star matches instead of building new stars? Yes. Matt Hardy kind of alluded to that on his podcast with John Alba. Yes. It wasn't the exact same thing that he said. He thinks that Tony Khan cares more about the matches than creating moments. This is something I've said for years too. WWE is a moment-making company. There are great matches in there, but WWE likes to create moments that are unforgettable.
By the way,
when you have so many matches, then when you have so many great matches, but you don't have a ton of story behind it, you don't create as many moments. Like you can talk about like Adam Page drinking friggin' Swerve Strickland's blood during that match. Yeah. But like how many like AEW moments other than what have happened in matches can you remember?
Yeah, the moments are fewer and farther between than the matches that ping the NorCal state. And again, that's not me shitting on it. That's me just acknowledging that I don't agree with that philosophy. I think you need to have a good, solid mix of the two elements. And it feels like AEW doesn't have that. You know, he himself, Tony Khan, said, "I booked for the sickos like me." It's like, Tony, if you're looking for wrestling fans, we're not doing that job, because not all wrestling fans want to sit there through the 5-star classics. We need that story element too.
Yeah, and there have been some decent storylines, like the CM Punk MJF feud. Probably one of their best story-driven feuds that they've had in AEW. MJF is good for that, though. Like, yes. MJF is good for bringing the story to wrestling. He's, for being as young as he is a ridiculously smart son of a bitch.
Max's ability to tell stories at, like you said, such a young age, and okay, I'm gonna put this up there. We are working on my audio. For those of you coming in late, we don't know why it's happening. We have no idea. So please stop asking.
Yeah, we'll figure it out by tomorrow. It's fine.
Well, like I said, I'm not even going to be in the studio now. I'm going to be down in Hollywood at the Golden Room tomorrow before I go see my buddies, which I'll plug in. But yeah, as far as the story versus the segment stuff, I think when AEW first started, there was this need to have more match quality than story because WWE's match quality had lowered so significantly for the sake of trying to tell the stories. But instead of AEW capturing that corner of the market, WWE upped their shit instead. And they have a good balance of both of them. Whereas AEW's storytelling has gone down. Max has been a rare exception. MJF, his rise and somehow organic babyface switch still befuddles me even now. Like, I'm happy with it because he's a buddy, and and he was a fan of ours before he actually got into wrestling. So that was cool. But at the end of the day, for an old school fan, MJF's big. Like, he is a big asshole. And the fact that some people got behind him when everybody that was, was spitting truth about it, but he still did it. He had a great story with Punk. But man, I wish everybody could have worked together and played this. I really do. Because like Punk's story had to have a play out with the EVPs and the Elite, or whatever you want to call them, would have been, I think, could have been really good. Mm-hmm. But I think they're almost hesitant to really lean hard into another story-driven situation because of
that. I feel like that's a few and far between situation, though. I can't imagine everybody is going to be as disgruntled as CM Punk was. And do the Reseda boys have a little bit of a reputation of being childish? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. First-hand experience.
Yeah. But that is what it is. Everybody seems happier now that Punk's at AEW. Punk seems happy in WWE, which 10 years ago, if you would have said that, 5 years ago, if you would have said that, 2 years ago, if you would have said that, it'd be like, but yeah. And the Young Bucks seem happy doing their new gimmick, and as they have been in recent months. But I do have to say, Kazuchika Okada is a gold mine.
He's definitely grown on me. When they first did it, it was like, oh no, they ruined Okada. It's like, no, we'll be all right. Just gotta be patient. As the kids say, just gotta let it cook.
I don't know what it is, but Okada just cracks me up. Like I know, like he's obviously incredibly talented in the ring, but like just the story arc that he's doing right now, being a sarcastic jag, just appeals to me because I am a sarcastic jag myself.
I was gonna say 6 days out of the week you're a sarcastic jag. This is one day you tell people not to be a jag, but the rest of the time it's like,
I can still be sarcastic. You should see me at work.
I see it here. That's
it's way worse than here.
To your coworkers, Godspeed. 9 to 5.
But yeah, I feel like if you do bring Shane McMahon in, who knows? Maybe he's the wild card to face Jeff Jarrett in the Owen Hart tournament.
It's okay. Let me. Oh shit! Here we go. Okay, here. Can't have this tomorrow. Can I just say, since you brought Jeff Jarrett up, how can he not win this thing? I know he shouldn't be the world championship challenger at Wembley and whatever. How does he not win the Owen tournament? Like, that promo and the extended, the uncut version, my God. Like, I still haven't stopped tearing up after watching it. It was so beautiful.
With that promo, it's going to be hard to root against Jeff Jarrett, which again, 20 years ago, if you would have said that, it's going to be hard to root against Jeff Jarrett. You probably would have been like strung up by your nuts, especially
a year ago. When you came to AEW, you say that you're going to get strung up by your nuts because he and then Lethal, and God, you say it 2 years ago when they're going against Flair. God, we were calling for his head on this show.
I know, but I'm talking like peak King of the Mountain TNA.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think he's almost worse now because he's got that same full of his own shit bravado, and it's like, dude, you're at least 10 years at your prime. STFU, but he's not. That's the thing. The character believes it. Jeff is in better shape now than he was, and you got to remember, there's also that he was, going down that path of alcoholism and just physical shape. He's in better shape now than he was when he was NWA champion,
which is weird.
Which is ridiculous. The guy is on a whole other plane now, and now I can't unsee Shane McMahon coming out there to be the walk-off.
Does WWE own the Naughty by Nature track, or is that like okay?
I'm pretty sure they do. It sucks, but
that sucks because that's a theme song that's been associated with Shane for 21 years.
Isn't that crazy? When you think about it, he no longer than that because he
23.
That.
Yeah, 23.
He did that during the invasion, so yeah, 23. That's crazy to me that he had that. Very few people keep a theme song. That's bullshit now. It didn't used to be bullshit, but it's 100% bullshit now.
Yeah.
Because, Cena's had the same song since he became WWE champion. Shawn's had the same song since 1992, except just different vocalists.
I mean, Shawn did have those periods with the DX theme too. So
well, okay, but even still, it was one of those two since 1992. He had the same song,
yeah.
His own or the DX theme. Whereas Hunter, changes every. Hunter will change halfway through an entrance. To be the game, it's like no. Play the authority one. Okay, now. You know what? I feel like being an asshole. Play the DX one. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Mick Foley when it was Mankind had a different entrance and exit theme. So. And then when Bayley won the SmackDown Women's title from Charlotte, she came out to one song and left with another.
And then, of course, Foley used 3 entrances in one night. So everybody was, it was a rare thing back then, but people have now kept it with each. So I wish Shane could use it. I hope I'm wrong that WWE owns Naughty by Nature, but I bet you if they didn't, they'd probably have tried to lock it up here or something.
Can you imagine though, like if the Young Bucks did a storyline where they went after, because I think Swerve's going to retain against Ospreay. If they went after Swerve, sent Shane after him, cost Swerve the title, and then I feel like they're doing blood and guts before all that. So just imagine the uproar if Shane McMahon became AEW champion under the guise of the Young Bucks.
If ever there was a way to get people to hate on Shane, because people hate on Shane for the last little run he had with the producing the Rumble or whatever, if you want pure X-Pac go away heat for Shane McMahon and everybody to hate his guts, that's the way to do it.
Everybody needs to get off Shane's dick for the 2022 Rumble. And I'm going to say this right now. Shane McMahon's part in the 22 men's Rumble was one of the best parts of both Rumble matches.
I know.
That crowd was silent through 25, 26 entrants.
Yes.
You had Bad Bunny come out, which got a pop. You got Shane McMahon come out, which got a larger pop.
Yeah.
Who was 29 that year?
All I remember is
Drew was 29.
They were sitting on their hands because they all knew Brock was going to come out after.
Yeah,
it was fait accompli.
The 2022 Rumbles were both of them, incredibly poorly booked.
Yes, absolutely.
That it was, and they were Vince's last Rumbles in charge.
Yeah.
To show how far. Do you know what's terrible though? In 2 years' time, 2020 men's, I've listed as the greatest Rumble of all time.
Really?
In 2 years, yeah. In 2 years, they go on to have two of the absolute most dog shit Rumbles in history.
And you and I have talked about the Rumble and how mid 90s except for 92, like mid 90s were dog shit. Except for 97. Even that's more true, but 93. even now, I'm not sure. I actually just got watching it on it. It's a rough show. It's a rough match and a rough show.
If there is one era that has done the Rumbles better than any other, it's the Ruthless Aggression era.
Oh, yeah.
03 to 08. Yeah. Those are 6 damn good Rumbles.
Especially after they revealed the loophole was in play with being able to switch. Because then you didn't know. Like, even if a SmackDown guy won, it's like, ooh, what's going to happen? You know, and it made the Batista storyline so much. Again, the matches with Batista and Cena at WrestleMania that year were what they were, but the story of where Batista was going to go completed that end of Evolution, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, 04, again, we got to reveal with them. 03 with Brock winning was great, but it was almost like it had to happen because of the way he'd been jumping. Like, you almost expected that. 07 was 06 was Ray. That was cute. That was a cool moment for him. Wasn't the main event though, because they had to, you know, Undertaker had to, you know, supernatural the ring down. 07 was great, especially the finish with Shawn and Taker. And then 08, god damn, the Garden. Again, the Garden doing Garden thing. Seeing it turn over. Just, you know, that place is still rattling with him coming out.
It's so everybody who gets on Shane McMahon's case for the 2022 Rumble, piss off.
No, I agree with that personally. I'm just saying, people have been a mixed bag about Shane pretty much since, like, with the exception of you and a few others, since the Best in the World story started. It's kind of a mixed bag about Shane. You want to get universal F you go away heat on him, put him with the Bucks and make him the champion because that was
that. I feel like if done right, they could tell a good story with Shane McMahon as AEW champion, and then bring up somebody like I'm not saying Swerve's reign should end like anytime soon, because Swerve obviously deserves to be champion. What I'm saying is maybe like All Out. Like right after Wembley, like right after Swerve like successfully defends the title. Send him to All Out in Chicago against Shane. Have the Bucks and Okada cause all their shenanigans, and then have like Jack Perry come in at the end to do the final nail in the coffin, and just with like a shit-eating grin on your face, have Shane McMahon as your AEW champion. You want to cause more controversy than Brawl In and firing Punk right before All Out in Chicago. Make Shane McMahon your champion.
See, my only thing with that is they have to let the city know, because the Chicago fires would be really not going to do it. Like, they would burn the city to the ground.
Yeah.
It would be bad. Josh, I've been reading your story about your travel woes. Do not be sorry for being late. Holy God, have you had a day and a half? Or it's been a couple of days now. That shit's crazy. I'm gonna try some real quick break. Give me 1 second.
And it's just me. Hi. Really exciting stuff. If Shane McMahon does show up in AEW, it's gonna be a good time. At least for me. Jeff's still working on his audio. It's okay.
It did not. I figured restarting the camera and starting it back up would let me use the internal as a thing. For some reason, the internal is not working.
No, it's okay. We'll figure it out. Is it a problem with the background, do you think?
Maybe. But it was, see, I'm using the microphone from the camera, but when I was doing it yesterday by myself, I was able to hit default mic, and people heard me just fine yesterday. So what I will do is, since I'm going to be here Friday for 2 shows, I'll work out the kinks before I go with JJ. Because tomorrow I'm going to be out of the studio, so I'll be on location. So I'm probably just going to bring the tripod and the phone and just get the earbuds.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll bring in like half an hour before joke or something. figure it out. Emmanuel says the only problem with having Shane would be AEW loyalists tuning out of AEW because of Shane, because it's a McMahon. I can't imagine that, honestly. Like, I feel like that would be a bragging point for AEW. Be like, a McMahon is in AEW as a talent. Like, he voluntarily came here.
Yeah.
Like, he voluntarily came here instead of working for his family's company.
Yep, exactly.
I don't know. Like, I of course would like to see it because I've been a diehard. I feel like Shane O'Mac apologist is a thing that could be said for me. I prefer the term Shane O'Mark, but that's just me.
Greg has been the most unapologetic about his fandom of Shane McMahon, even more than I'm unapologetic about being a Hulkamaniac. For real. People hate on me for that. Like, okay, sorry. I'm not sorry, but I'll say it just to shut you up. Because, well, as we know from Josh, Hogan didn't do shit in business anyway, so I don't have to apologize for it.
All right, so tomorrow, I know we still got 15 minutes, but we just have to talk about it.
Yeah.
So where is that graphic? There it is.
Toward the bottom. Yes, I had to move shit because I had to read some other shit out there.
And I'll take the comment off of here.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, the biggest episode of Jack of All Trades. I'm not even going to say in quite some time. It is literally the biggest episode of Jack of All Trades that we've ever done.
Yep.
It's three champions in Chris Cass, the current one, and two former ones in Jeff and Maddie, as well as the biggest guest that this channel has ever had. YouTube sensation, former WWE Hardcore champion, first ever male winner of WWE Tough Enough, Maven Huffman. I'm so excited about this. It is absolutely insane that it is less than 24 hours from being a reality.
Crazy, right?
That he's going to be on this show. It's mind-blowing to me.
No, it is. It's one of those, back in the day when I was, doing interviews with Aaron and Ryan and stuff for a while, it's like the interviews and the names would happen. It was awesome. And, it always was a pleasure to interact with the people that have been involved in the business for a while, and people that I watch on TV, the people who grew up watching interviews. This is something different. It's one of those. He's a YouTube personality now more than he is a former WWE whatever. So he's a contemporary, which I think is super cool. That we're having another one of us guys that are trying to make a go of it doing the YouTube thing, and he's willing to come on here. Yeah, it's a gig, but he's looking forward to it. I think that's super cool.
Yeah, and the fact that his agent told me how excited he was to be a part of it, it just, you never really think about the content that you're putting out there unless, and we don't necessarily do this for the validation. We don't do it for the money, obviously. But the fact that we get to produce something and somebody who has been in that spotlight, somebody who has moments that will last a lifetime in wrestling history, wants to be a part of something that we produce is just incredible.
It really is. I've had the good fortune, people aware or whatever you want to call it, of my friendship, acquaintanceship with different people in the business, and it's neat. It's a cool thing to have somebody that's actually wanting to be part of making us a small part of their big deal that they're trying to go for. And it's just weird to me because I have another friend that's doing a stream tomorrow night. I'm going to be down here, and I found this out earlier, like I think last week. The Lawrence brothers, yes, whoa, those Lawrence brothers are going to be down at the Road Room with Nikki and Bree tomorrow. So as I'm honed in on, punking Maven out, I have 3 people I, grew up watching on television and, admire, and my 2 friends that I get to interact with. Tomorrow's going to be one of the better days I've had.
And listen, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If we got the Garcia twins on luck of the draw, that would be spectacular.
There's a reason I didn't flat out cancel my ticket or cancel with Maven or not be on this show when I booked the thing with the girls because, I'm just grateful they're in California. I'm still going to Arizona to see them. Like it's not enough here as it is. I'm not about to get out of the car in Arizona and literally have my feet fused to the pavement again, like I did last time. That was absurd. But yeah, tomorrow is a big deal for you, for the Greg Cherry brand, for everybody that associates with the multiverse of media. It's a cool thing. It's again. I kind of ha-ha'd at the name the multiverse when it first got introduced, but it's like that's what we do because we don't just talk about wrestling. We don't just talk about sports one day a week. We've got so many different things that we cover. We've got so many different things that the majority of us are interested in. That it's wonderful to branch out and get different people from different walks of life and different genres of sport and entertainment to either be on one of our shows or to possibly be on one of our shows if conversations go where they should go. So just a very cool, exciting opportunity that's gonna come out tomorrow on both sides of the game.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a crazy experience. I'm really hoping that the comment section is just so out of control that we can't control it.
Right. Yeah. That is the one thing I was grateful that I was being asked if somebody could do an alternate because it's like I'm going to be fighting to push the comment button because you always tell us stay out of the comments when we're contestants because then people are going to inevitably throw an answer out there that we're not supposed to see. So I always make my screen full and I can't do that tomorrow because of the nature of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge to not have my producer have me.
Well, the thing is, if everybody makes their screens full except me, because obviously I can see the answers because I'm making the questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a blast to see everybody involved in this. I'm real excited for you guys to see all the rounds that I have planned, all 4 rounds.
Scared for my wife, to be honest with you.
You're gonna
bring this for joke normally. I'm already frightened as it is, but now you got this new one.
Let me tell you this much: I leveled the playing field as much as I possibly could for everybody involved. So it might be to Cass's disadvantage because he's so good with the trivia stuff.
Yes.
But I think he can still win if he knows enough about it.
And the thing is, that last round can make or break you, no matter how many other rounds there are, or what kind of rounds there are. So that 20 questions it could be more of a determinator than ever. I personally, really quick, I know we're not going to end on that note. We're going to end high, whatever. But I do want to briefly, as I did yesterday, talk about the passing of Sika. It's never easy when somebody you grew up with or you grew up watching their pass away. The rise and the success of the bloodline and Roman Reigns in particular has been so much a prominent part of our existence in professional wrestling the last 4 years that we often forget that these guys are still people and they lost his father yesterday. So I just wanted to acknowledge the Roman Reigns and the family of the Anawahis, and hope that if the plan was to have him be who can stop Solo's ascent, Roman Reigns, I hope that the show can go on, because I've found, and I know a lot of wrestler fans have found, that it's cathartic to get out there in front of the people and do your thing. At the end of the day, it is still a family. The Anawahis are still they do run this industry. They have for longer than people have acknowledged. But much love and respect to the family of Sika, the Anawahis, and the entire bloodline. May his journey be free of incident going forward.
It's hard to believe when you look at that entire Anawahi tree, and the Anawahis, the Fatus, and just everybody associated. We don't sit down and realize how much that family has been a part of our lives.
No, for real.
Like we almost take it for granted, because while not all of them like reached Rock or Roman Reigns level booking in the card, they were still just as big a part of the show, and just as memorable, and just as important to the wrestling business. And like, I'm sure it's incredibly hard for Roman right now to deal with the passing of his father, especially since he's already lost a brother, and you don't want to take family and their importance in your life for granted.
No.
You don't want to take like a lot of us don't get the chance to meet the people that we watch on TV. A lot of us don't get the chance to meet people that we watch on YouTube or anything like that. People that we look up to, maybe not like idolize, because that's in some cases that's a little too far, but the people we watch, the people we enjoy, and we never get the opportunity to say thank you, or we never get the opportunity to really show our appreciation for everything that they've done. And I hope tonight that Roman Reigns knows how much people care for him and for his family, and that he's sent as much love as possible during this time.
If he's in the Garden Friday, I think everybody in that building needs to give him a 2008 John Cena spot, and just let him know that you've been chanting "We Want Roman" since April 8th. Let him know that you want him, because it's going to be a hell of a rest of the week, to say the very least. We've got what we got tomorrow. We've got SmackDown on Friday. We've got Dad's on Friday. We've got our prediction show from Vendor on Friday. We've got Open Mic Night, which is always chaotic and fun and crazy on Saturday. And then Forbidden Door Sunday, and then we hit that reset button. So as we do in wrestling, the reset button always hits. But
absolutely,
regardless of what happens the rest of the week, the rest of the night, I will say this: I am so looking forward to getting on that set of transit and getting down to Hollywood, and looking forward to sitting down in whatever chair I get provided and plunking Maven out like the former Tough Enough punk that he is. Also, Mr. Tough Enough, you attempt to come up on our channel and try to take away a championship that I've held, that Maddie's held, that Chris holds. You have to be tough enough. And
we will definitely see Maven joining Jack of All Trades for the first time 23 hours from now. Count it down. Set your alarms. Set your notifications up on the Greg Cherry brand. Subscribe to the channel if you're going to watch any episode of Jack of All Trades. Make tomorrow be the episode that you watch. We are going to be live as live can be, 7 p.m. Eastern. I know Joe normally starts at 6 p.m., but it's a special start time for a special guest. 7 p.m. Eastern, tomorrow on the Greg Cherry brand. Matty Laws, Jeff Meacham, and Maven Huffman challenge Chris Cass for the Jack of All Trades Championship in what should be one of the best things that this channel produces. I am looking forward to it. It's going to be amazing.
It's
I
just so
hope
great for me because between Maven and who I'm going to teach tomorrow, I get to be around the stars. I had it only once.
yes, it's going to be an incredible night tomorrow. I hope you're there to join us. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Greg Cherry Show. And somebody is coming in to cut a promo.
Literally at the last minute.
You're a little late there, bud.
Just a fucking little bit. My alarm didn't go off. I literally woke up a minute ago. I'm
Josh,
here.
Here you go. You're here today, and you get shirtless Maddie to close us out.
I am going to take that belt from Cass. I am going to do to Maven what Undertaker did to him at the Royal Rumble 2002. And Jeff, I apologize, but that makes you Kurt Angle for that match.
Oh.
I'll take Kurt Angle. That's okay.
I am taking Goldie back, and I'll do it by any means necessary.
There you go.
Let's see, brother. Let's see.
The promos have been cut. That is it for this episode of the Greg Cherry Show. We thank you much. Join us tomorrow for the biggest episode of Jack of All Trades that we've ever done. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Maddie will be there, or I'm going to throw something at him from here in Colorado.
I will be there on time, and that is a promise.
Set the right alarm tone. Set that, you're good to go.
Yeah.
I'm a jag, I know. Don't be a jag like Jag.
Exactly. Don't be a jag. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on the Greg Cherry Show. Maven's on Joe tomorrow, baby.
Woo!
You got Maven.
And the Browns suck.
Oh.